So the objective for kind of this video and for your lesson that this relates to is to find the multiplier if we're increasing by a percentage or decreasing by a percentage. So if you read this question at the top, we've got increase an amount by 20%. What is the new percentage? So if we're increasing an amount by 20%, currently we haven't done anything to it. Okay, so we're at 100% currently. And I want to increase it by 20%. Currently 100%, I want to increase by 20%. So if I add on another 20%, in total, we're left with 120%. Okay, not too challenging. And then decrease an amount. This time we're decreasing an amount by 20%. What is the new percentage? So if a question says you need to decrease an amount by 20% and you're not told that anything's happened to that value before, you're again starting on 100%. So this time we want to take away 20%. So if I take away 20% here, I can cross that part off, 100%, and I cut off 20%, so I'm just left with 80%. Okay, you can see what's happened. Increase by 20%, we've added it on. Decrease by 20%, we've taken it off. Okay, so the first thing you're asked to do is to answer the following questions. So I would pause the video and answer the following. So A is, what is the new percentage after a 32% increase? B is, what is the new percentage after a 15% decrease? What is the new percentage after a 150% increase? And what is the new percentage after a 90% decrease? So pause the video whilst you have a go at the questions. So what is the new percentage after a 32% increase? Well, we're going to have 100%, which is what we've started with. We're increasing, so we're adding on 32%. You don't really need a calculator for that, but if you need to, then we're not testing your calculator skills today. So that's 132%. Next one, what is the new percentage after a 15% decrease? So this time we're doing 100%. Decrease means we're taking away 15%. And we're left with 85%. What is the new percentage after a 150% increase? We've got 100%. We're increasing, so we're adding 150%. So you're left with 250%. And then what is the new percentage after a 90% decrease? You've got 100%. We're decreasing, so we're taking away 90%. And you're left with 10%. Okay, so that's the first part. Okay, we're now going to look at finding the multiplier. So I'm going to do a couple of examples to talk you through what to do. And then you're going to have a go at a couple as well. So express an increase of 110% as a multiplier. Okay, so multiplier is what we want to multiply an amount by when we're doing kind of percentage calculations. So we've just learnt how to do an increase of 110%. So you've got 100% and we're increasing by 110%. So we're going to add on 110%. Okay, and that gives us 210%. To find a multiplier, so we want to change this to a decimal. So I don't know if you can remember, but we go from a percentage to a decimal by dividing by 100. So 210% divided by 100, okay, divided by 100, don't forget the decimal doesn't move, the numbers move, okay. So 210, if I move all of those numbers 2 places, I end up with, you can use a calculator if you need to, but we shouldn't need to, so it's 2.10. I don't really need that 0 on the end, so my multiplier is 2.1. Okay, so that's how we find a multiplier. As you can see, I've done my increase of the percentage first, and then I've just divided by 100 to get my multiplier. So here, express a decrease of 23%. So I start with 100% because I've not done anything so far from the information. Decrease, so I'm taking away 23%. So I'm taking away 23%. So 100 take away 23 is 77. So we're going to get 77%. Okay. And now we've got our percentage. We want the multiplier. So can you remember from the other example, to get from our percentage to our multiplier, we're dividing by 100. So 77 divided by 100 is 0.77. I don't need to rewrite that. I've not got any zeros at the end, so we're happy with just 0.77. These next two questions are for you to do. So if you pause the video now and then have a go at these. So question 1 is express an increase of 213% as a multiplier. Question 2 is express a decrease of 56% as a multiplier. So increase, we know that that means we're adding on, so we've got 100% and we're increasing, so adding 213%, and that gives us 313%. I need to find my multiplier, so I'm going to divide by 100. So 313% divided by 100, which gives my multiplier as 3.13. Okay, so this is my multiplier. Next one, express this time a decrease. So it's gone a bit blurry. So this time we're doing a decrease, so I start with 100%. So we're decreasing, so taking away 56%. So you're left with 44%. I want to find my multiplier, so I'm going to divide by 100. So I divide by 100 and I end up with 0.44, which is my multiplier. Okay.